Rolling into February, full steam ahead! Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, we're here to talk about some sci-fi and fantasy books with a sprinkling of historical fiction. Before we get into that, please like this video and subscribe to the channel as it does help us grow, and make sure to check that description box down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord, as well as links to all my social media and including information about my Patreon. And guys, we are here to talk a little February MBR. Woo! Woo! Yeah! Nobody cares about what I'm going to be reading in February, but if you do, then I'm here to talk about it with you. We've got 14 books here, I think, and we're going to start off with the one that I don't own physically, because I forgot to talk about it in a wrap-up. I am currently reading Malazan Book of the Fallen, and I need to make sure that I talk about these books, because I'm having a much better experience than I have had previously with this series. And in this month, it is going to be Memories of Ice. This is book number 3, so that is the first book right out of the way. All right, the rest should be physical, I think, unless I've forgotten something, in which case, I'll just add it in and I'll talk about it in the wrap-up. But starting off, let's start with the stuff that we're doing for the Patreon. And I've got that right over here. We have been reading the Tide Child trilogy. It is time to close that out with The Bone Ship's Wake by R.J. Barker. Guys, if you haven't checked this one out, it is probably one of the best nautical fantasies out there. You need to do yourself a favor and check this out. The story progression has been fantastic. And then every month, my patrons get to select a book anywhere on my TBR for me to read. Well, my buddy Aaron got to choose this month, and this is actually a gift from another patron, Tweenie, so thank you for that as well. We are going to read Larry Correa's, let's see if we can't get the glare to go away, The Son of the Black Sword. This is the Saga of the Forgotten Warrior book. Warrior. Book 1. It has been a number of years since I read a Larry Correa book. I have read Grim Noir, I really enjoy that one, and I have read Monster Hunter International, so it is nice to finally come back to another one of his fantasy works that people seem to really, really enjoy. I'm very excited for this. If you can't tell, just, I could do a little dance. Probably not. I'm not very much of a dancer, as you can tell. But yeah, that is the patron stuff that is out of the way. And then I've got some review copies that I have kind of taken on. Oh, these things are heavy. And I'm planning to read all these. Will I succeed this month? I don't know. If I don't, they'll just roll over into the next month as I keep adding on to the stack. I'm trying to do about 3 to 4 review copies per month in the hope that I can get caught up and get it down to a more reasonable level. So if you've sent me a book, I'm working on it. All right, we've got No Heart for a Thief. I really tried to get this one in January and I just couldn't quite get it in there. This is James Lloyd Dolan. I almost said Dublin, and I don't know why, but the cover on this one is banging, and the reviews I've been seeing is they're pretty good. We are the stories we tell ourselves, even the lies. Oh my goodness! Oh, with a line like that, with a line, you know what? We're gonna just stack it up right there so you can see what's going on here. Then I've got a buddy read going on. Butcher, Baker, Candlestick, Taker. This is my good friend Kayla over at Kay's Hidden Shelf, and this is by Patricia Meredith. And this is a kind of period mystery set in 1900s Spokane. No, it's Spoken. No. Patricia, you told me how to pronounce this on a live stream, and I've forgotten how to say Spokane. So I'm going to say it the wrong way, and then feel free to correct me. But yeah, we got that one right there, and this is going to be my palate cleanser read. I can feel it in me bones! And that's Debunked by Ditto Abbott. This is Terravinium Chronicles Book 1. I had to make sure to look at it to see if I could even get it remotely close. This one just looks zany. It's got like little pink monsters here on the side. It's got airships / zeppelins. It's got this adventurer's note here on the back. Oh, I'm so excited. This came with a map of the review copy, and it's just gorgeous. It is so beautiful. Oh. And then, of course, we've got my good friend P.L. Stewart's The Last of the Atlanteans, Drowned Kingdom, book number 2. It has been a number of months. Nay, it has been close to a year, I think. We're getting there since I read Drowned Kingdom, which is the first book. So I'm hoping that I remember enough, but still, I'm going into this. I know the gist of what's going on. It's been a while, but I think I'm going to have a good time with this one, guys. So yeah, because PL writes amazing stories. And then continuations of some buddy reads that are currently already... buddy reads? Read-alongs? I don't know. We got a read-along for A Song of Ice and Fire. The wizard has finally traveled to Westeros. And he had a pretty decent time. I've got some complaints. I'm going to be recording a video about the first book in A Song of Ice and Fire. I almost said in a Game of Thrones, which is technically incorrect, because only the first book is a Game of Thrones, even though, yeah, now I'm like wizard-splaining. I don't know, is that a thing? Tell me in the comments down below if that's a thing. But we've got A Clash of Kings. This is a read-along that is being hosted by my good friend Joanna, and yeah, I'm going to be reading that. Finally, get it underneath the old belt. And then, of course, we're going to continue with Shogun by James Clavell. I've been having a fantastic time with this book. It was very hard for me to stop at parts 1 and 2. That was the allotted section, though. I think we're reading 3, 4, and 5 this time around. This book is being broken up in 2/3. It's a beefy book, but man, is this one good. So I can't wait to close this one out. Oh, I'm having such a great time with it. Next up, we have got Deathgate Cycle, Book 1, Dragonwind by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Wise. I bought these over a year ago. I'm going to try and see if anybody wants to read these with me. If you do, let me know in the comments down below. I'm more than happy to create buddy read channels in the Discord. It's a great community. We can just create buddy reads. We can hang out. We can chat. We can have gift wars, what have you. It's a great place to be. But yes, I have been hearing nothing but great things about the Deathgate Cycle, and it's about time that I dive in and kind of figure out for myself what all the fuss is about. See if it lives up to the hype. All right. Next up, we have got one that I'm really excited for, and that's Curse of the Fallen by H.C. Newell. And this one just sounds like a beautifully written dark fantasy. It's self-pub. It's got a gorgeous cover. My buddy Jordan from Jordan Reads Books really, really enjoyed this one. And I know if Jordan enjoys something, I'm about to have a really, really fun reading experience. Magic is the purest form of darkness, and those born of its powers must be purged. Sounds so good. It's a promise of revenge. Book 1 of the Fallen Light series. This is just... I'm gonna just go on record right now and say I am H.C. Newell's #1 fan. Haven't even read the book, but I'm just... stamp of approval right there. I'm already going to love it. I'm going to manifest the fact that I'm going to love this book, because how could I not? Next up, we've got Fetch Phillips, book number Dose. And I believe this is Dead Man in a Ditch. I hope I've picked up the right book, because technically these aren't like numbered or anything like that. And at the time of recording, I'm about 50% through the first book, Last Mile in Sunder City. And that's like a 4-star read. I'm really enjoying it. I'm listening to the audiobook, which is narrated by the author, which isn't really a problem since he comes from an acting background. Like, I feel like actors make amazing audiobook narrators. But yeah, one of the things that kind of irked me a little bit is it kind of likens it to like the next Terry Pratchett. And I don't quite see that. This is a little grittier. This is a little bit more edgy. I can see some elements like we're in Ang Morpork. It feels kind of like that without all of the obnoxiousness. And so it's a much kind of like, imagine if Ang Morpork wasn't funny at all. Like, maybe we could see that comparison there. Anyway, I've been told that his writing just keeps getting better and better. And so since I enjoyed book 1 so much, I'm expecting this to be a 5-star read, which I picked these up on a whim. It was funny, somebody said, who has the exact opposite reading taste of me, said, I don't like them. And I'm just like, well, then I'm just going to read them, because I feel like if you don't like them, then I'm going to enjoy them. So I did, and I had enjoyed it. And then it was recommended to me by my booktube big sister Leslie over at the Nerdy Narrative, and I fell in love. So it's been so good. All right, up next, we've got Robert McCammon's Matthew Corbett, book number 3, Mr. Slaughter. I don't know, with a name like that, it feels like it deserves that kind of presentation. I don't know. I've met Mr. Slaughter in book 2, and I can only imagine what this book is about. He was like there for like just a couple pages, and I'm just like, oh, that dude's creepy. There's always like this kind of creepy horror thriller undertone to the Matthew Corbett books, even though they're more historical fiction, kind of mystery, detective things. There's still definitely a creepy vibe. Which, I mean, he used to write horror, or I guess he still does write horror. I don't know. I'll find out in like April, because I'm reading like Swan Song with a few other people, but we're talking about February here. And so it's about time to just jump into the third Matthew Corbett book. I really am having a great time with this series. So yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. Although I think this is just like artwork of the author's face, and they've done him up like a pirate. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. See what happens. So, editing Andrew here. Of course, I forgot to include one of my new favorite books in the February MBR, and that is going to be Keeper of the Keys, A Cycle of Fire, Janie Warren's book 2. Storm Warden in January shot up to my one of my like top 10 books. Like, I fell in love with Janie Warren's Storm Warden. And yeah, I'm sitting here editing this video and realized I forgot to talk about Keeper of the Keys. So this is getting read in February as well. Back to the video. And then, guys, it's time. I've been talking about it for a year now. It has been 9 months. No. It's been 11 months since my last First Law read. And it's finally time to come back to First Law with a little hatred, kicking off the Age of Madness. Initially, I wasn't going to read this book this month, but I decided, and this, feel free to be flabbergasted. Oh no! I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in the wrap up, but I decided to put down Wheel of Time for a while. I've done this many times with my Wheel of Time rereads. I'll get to like book 10, I'll get to like book 11, and then I'll just get distracted and go read other stuff. It's not because I don't like Wheel of Time. I've just got hundreds and hundreds of books to read. And doing rereads kind of feels like, oh, I could be reading something, new and exciting and finding new potential favorites. And Red Country was such a high note for the First Law world for me that I kind of want to start this last era of the story. So we're going to throw in a little hatred and see what all that fuss is about. But if I've done my math correctly, that's 14 books. And if that is 14 books, then that equals an MBR. And guys, really, that's all I've got here for you. So, till next time, peace out. Stay magical. Bye. And as always, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. Thank you so much.